You know? But that would be great, man. You know, now that I remember, now that you said that, you know, I think the biggest challenge would be Usyk. That's something like out of this world.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? But you know, but that's the only guy that I think that would be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know? That would be another big challenge. That's another topic, you know? Because he is the fucking pound for pound best.
I mean, legs, fast. I mean, what type of fighter do
Brother,
you
right now,
that could...
there's no ingredient. There's nothing to beat the Mexican monster. What I seen, even me, I'm impressed. I'm like, what the fuck? How does he throw those fucking big punches like the Golovkin shots? How did he drop that hand and hit you? And then he's gonna do it again, but he changed it down. Uppercuts, you know, everything, bro, you know, footwork, defense, you know. Right now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see any danger for David Benavidez at 175 and at cruiserweight or
Evening peeps, good evening everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe.
Benavidez, Mexican flag emoji, Ecuadorian flag, versus Usyk, Ukrainian flag. We ain't matching David like that. We don't need no 240 pounder. You know, Usyk be like, I think I seen him weigh like 240 unless it was 224. We gotta see. But Usyk got very good boxing skill, man. He's gonna try to stay away from David. He ain't gonna give us the fight we want. And he's got underrated power. Look what the fuck he did to Fury, bro. He put Fury on Queer Street. Shit. Who hurt Fury more, Ngannou or Usyk? Because I think I remember Usyk is the one that had Fury bouncing from rope to rope, right? Or did Ngannou do that shit?
What's poppin', box fans? Got some news coming to you right now. David Benavidez this past Saturday took apart Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez in a Cinco de Mayo fight. Now, Turkey Al-Sheikh came out and said that the fight that he wants to make in 2027 would be David Benavidez versus Oleksandr Usyk. That'll be a blockbuster fight.
David Benavidez has stunned the boxing world after an unexpected move from his camp following another dominant title run. Instead of targeting familiar contenders, they are now pushing for a shock fight with heavyweight ruler Oleksandr Usyk. Behind-the-scenes negotiations and major financial forces are driving this surprising potential matchup reality.
Yeah, like the biggest challenge might be going up to heavyweight and maybe facing a heavyweight.
Yeah, that could be the reason, you know. Hey, you know, he's fucking beating everybody, every division, so might as well go to fucking heavyweight, you know? But that would be great, man. You know, you know that I remember, now that you said that, you know, I think the biggest challenge would be Usyk. That's something like out of this world.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? But you know, but that's the only guy that I think that would be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know? That would be another big challenge. That's another topic, you know? Because he is the fucking pound for pound best.
I mean, you spoke about Roy Jones Jr. He went up to heavyweight to find a challenge.
Yeah, no, and I think that's what I'm saying. You know, like, I think he's really young right now. The weight is not there, you know? He's gonna go down to 175. I mean, we're not even there developed at cruiserweight, you know? So, we're going to be playing in those two divisions, cruiserweight, whatever.
The aftermath of the Ramirez bout exposed mindset of Benavidez team fans processing victory. Jose Benavidez Sr. took mic and made bold claim no fighter at 175 or 200 pounds can trouble his son. He described him as Mexican monster despite clean, tattoo-free look. He fights with ruthless intensity that mentally and physically breaks opponents. Father says competition domestically is exhausted. They now chase legacy over belts, not just titles.
Canelo, Canelo Alvarez was here, you know.
He told me he wasn't interested in staying for the main event, that he only came to see how he left and took off.
Thank God he left, because otherwise he would have gotten really scared, you know. With that kind of performance, I would leave too, you know. But you know, to be honest with you, David's a cruiserweight champion now, 3-division champion, you know. That guy's never gonna fight David, you know. I mean, David's the face of boxing now. It's his era, you know. Canelo's not the same no more. He's tired. Reflexes are not good, you know. The feet is not good no more. His power's not there anymore. I think he's gonna struggle with them, Billy, you know. At the end of the day, man, I just want to talk about David Benavidez, to be honest, the Mexican monster, you know.
And with that, what's next? We've heard B-Ball all the talk all week about going back down to 75.
Before gave us a belt, hand us a belt, you know, the WBC belt. Muchas gracias, muchas gracias. Right, 17, bro.
We're here.
No. Hey, por Oscar se hizo esto por ustedes.
No, güey.
Y como te digo, gracias al Zurdo que nos dio la oportunidad, no tenía que. Pero esos putos huevotes. Ya, esos huevotes, ese es un pinche guerrero para mí.
Felicidades.
Gracias, muchas gracias.
Whatever you need.
Yeah, thank you. So, B-Ball, you know, it's he handed us the WBC belt 175. He didn't want to fight. Benavidez didn't want to fight. So hopefully, after this performance, I thought we were gonna get a fight, but I don't think they're gonna fight. You know, it's gonna be mandatory for WBA to fight Dave Benavidez. If he doesn't fight, we're gonna take his belts too.
2. Understand the bold call-out of Usyk? Look at the milestone David Benavidez has achieved. He became the first champion to win belts at 168, 175, and cruiserweight, covering a 25-pound dominance range. His reputation has reached extreme levels, with opponents avoiding him, as Jose Sr. describes a monster era. Fighters fear his high-volume pressure style, forcing the team to seek challenges in the heavyweight division for real heavyweight competition.
You know, is this insane to maybe ask? We just saw a heavyweight rematch yesterday. Oh, not yesterday, a couple days ago, and you know, Usyk essentially dethroned the whole entire division, 2-division undisputed. He's, you know, flirted with the idea, probably not, but maybe going down the cruiserweight. If you get past this division, you know, Bivol or Arthur better be winner, is it far-fetched to ask you of a cruiserweight and maybe even you and Usyk? Like, is that insane to think, or?
To be honest with you, I had to deal with these monsters in this weight class first. Usyk, I don't think I have enough experience to go against Usyk. To be honest, I'm just being 100% honest. But I mean, like you say never. Maybe in the future, but as of right now, I'm just focused on these guys. Maybe in, I don't know, I would say maybe in 5-6 years, but in 5-6 years, he's probably gonna be like 40-some or probably even older, but I don't know. I think I have a tremendous respect for Usyk, and he's the greatest of all time. And if I have the opportunity to share the ring with him, I'm not gonna say no, but you know what I mean? It's probably going to be the hardest fight I've ever had.
Critics initially dismissed the Usyk call-out as post-fight emotion, but a major industry leak shifted everything. ESPN insider Mike Coppinger reported that Turki Alalshik is already interested in staging this cross-divisional fight. This is not just talk, as major boxing power brokers are actively working toward making it happen by 2027. The plan has accelerated. Under funding and demand globally.
Speaking of spectacle, the Mexican monster David Benavidez went on Cam and Mace's It Is What It Is podcast. It's a good podcast. He was asked about opponents he'd be interested in and said, quote, maybe one day we could get a fight with Usyk. I would definitely be up for that task. Now, guys, he's been clear with us. He doesn't mean Usyk right now, because before then, there's Beterbiev, right? There's Bivol. There's Opataya at cruiserweight. But, guys, if David Benavidez is good enough to get through those guys, I think he could be an interesting matchup with Usyk. And let me tell you why. Guys, are you familiar with the transitive property in mathematics? What that means is, if equation A equals equation B, and equation B equals equation C, then A equals C. If A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C, right? That doesn't work that way in boxing. There's no transitive property in boxing. Just because Joe Frazier beats Muhammad Ali and George Foreman beats Joe Frazier, that doesn't mean George Foreman beats Muhammad Ali. And so I understand Usyk is now a heavyweight. He's beaten these giants, etc., etc. But Benavidez is a high-volume puncher with fast hands. If he could take the power at heavyweight, this is presuming he beats Bivol and or Beterbiev and Opataya. I'm not saying he does all those things, but if he does, he's proven himself to be of even better quality than he looks right now, which is very high. I think he could give a 40-year-old heavyweight champion at that point a really...
The biggest question remains Oleksandr Usyk's silence. The heavyweight champion has not responded to the Mexican challenger as he is fully focused on training. Usyk is preparing for the Glory to Giza event on May 23rd, facing kickboxing star Rico Verhoeven near the Egyptian pyramids. With such a historic, high-stakes fight ahead, his silence reflects discipline, not avoidance or fear.
Bill, we are very happy to see you back. I think boxing smiles when they see the name Usyk on a poster. But being here again, Oleksandr, on the big stage, how does it feel for you to be back once again?
I feel good. Listen, hi everyone. I'm very glad to be here. I'm very happy back in UK. You know, I missed a little bit. 6 months, yeah, last time. Thank you so much. Thank you, organization who do this. Thank you, Rico. Thank you, Rico team. For me, it's a challenge. A lot of people say, why you choose a not boxer? It's a great guy. It's a dangerous guy. You want, you know, please, one time I wanna do what I want, not what need, because a lot of time I do what need another people, and you must, you have to boxing like this, you must boxing like this. I say, okay. Now I do what I need. Thank you so much.
While Usyk stays silent, the boxing world is in chaos over the possible matchup. Promoters, insiders, and fans are split. When asked about it, respected. Promoter Lou DiBella gave a blunt one-word answer about the fight happening. No.
When it comes to speed, this is something you always agree with when it comes to Usyk. I believe it could be a smaller guy to give him trouble. When I say smaller, I don't mean like these guys are like, I believe the Benavidez. I believe this is why we're so big on him fighting Moses. And I also believe this is what Usyk also knows. That's why he has no problem knocking down these giants. He'll fight AJ and Fury and all. You could even see he's trying to get after the third Fury fight. I'm not really interested in that. But he does that because he knows, oh, these big giants is really nothing. Not nothing like that, but they're not just based on the level where he will mine. What really would give him problems is a smaller guy, Otama, a fast guy, Benavidez, somebody that can move in, hit, and don't have actually slow feet like that. So I get where you're coming from, Max, and I get where Mike is coming from with Benavidez. It's not a long shot, but I can see why he would want that fight. So it makes sense, but he has Zurdo Ramirez to handle on May 2nd.
By the way, Usyk had some tough fights at cruiserweight as much as at heavyweight. Like Michael Hunter gave him a nice fight. I called that fight. He fought, who did Opetaia beat for the cruiserweight title? The long-reigning champion, Mike Coppinger. Bradis, excuse me. Bradis is one of the best cruiserweights ever, really, in the 50-year division of history of that division. Bradis gave him go. Like, he's had tough fights at cruiserweight. Usyk, because those guys are skillful and fast.
On Reddit and boxing forums, debate is exploding. One side claims a 200-plus pound Benavidez would be risking his career by facing a highly technical genius, an all-time great like Usyk. The opposing side sees Benavidez as boxing's ultimate boogeyman, a relentless pressure fighter who could overwhelm even the most skilled and elusive heavyweight in the division.
Jai Opetaia, how important is it for you to get a chance to fight him without all the red tape in the way?
I mean, I think that's the biggest fight in the world, especially at this weight division. You know, and that's definitely a fight I want. Like I said, I'm not scared of nobody. This is Monstro's world. And if he wants to get that fight, we get that fight. I don't know why he went to Zuffa. We could have made this fight right after this one. You know, but now, I don't know if he got stripped by the IBF or what it is. You know, I'm not going to go over there and fight for a Zuffa title. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that would be a great fight to make in the future. And I mean, I respect Jai Opetaia a lot. He's a great fighter. And I think he has to come back over here to make these fights happen because, you know, we can't make no fights in Zuffa.
So that's what I wanted to secondarily ask was that, do you feel like fighters are losing their power by going over to Zuffa?
I think that, I mean, yeah, I think they definitely are losing their power. I mean, it's just a lot of politics in that. You know, I think Dana White has showed that he doesn't want to do fights with PBC, DAZN. And I don't want to even feel like, I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting them, but that's just what it looks like from the outside. If we could come to an agreement and make a big fight, let's do it.
David Benavidez now finds himself in a risky transitional stage. With Oleksandr Usyk focused elsewhere and major plans aimed for 2027, questions rise about his next opponent. He must prove dominance at cruiserweight before moving up. Fans demand dangerous fights against elite names like Bivol or other top contenders. where one mistake could end the Usyk dream entirely.
Benavidez is too old for David, but Usyk, who is 39, isn't too old? No. I'm saying y'all acting like, oh, he gotta fight Benavidez when y'all know he gonna beat that dude up because he's going to be 41 or 42 when David fights him. That's what I'm saying. The same way I want him to fight Wilder because he's old and on the back half is the same shit I see with Benavidez. Like, I don't know how y'all think that dude he don't stand a chance with David. David is just too fast and too vicious. Bro, Benavidez always been hittable. He chinny, he been down twice. Man, listen, give me the fight. I want them fights because that's the ones y'all want, and it's just gonna make David look better. Give me the bum-ass Bivol fight. He not gonna win. He gonna stay away and try to make it boring, but David already knows him from sparring, so that ain't gonna work. Then, old Benavidez ain't gonna do no better. He old. His bones hurt. I don't know what y'all talking.
David Benavidez and his team show extreme ambition, aiming beyond titles. They are targeting the most dangerous opponents possible, driven by a goal to secure a lasting, legendary legacy in boxing history.
Do you think that the way that you beat Zurdo tonight will make Dmitry Bivol reluctant to fight you?
I mean, to be honest with you, I can't answer that question. I don't know what these people are thinking. If they're real champions like how they say they are, they're going to take this. They're definitely going to have no problem taking this fight. I'm not trying to say be disrespectful to Dmitry Bivol. I don't think he's going to get scared away. He's a great champion. But at the end of the day, this is boxing. That's why we're here. We're here to give the best of ourselves. And I'm doubted all the time. Everybody always doubts me. But every time I get in this ring and I show myself what type of fighter I am, you know what I mean? It speaks a lot of volume about me and my character. But I'm ready to fight whoever. I'm ready. I think you guys know that 100% already. Wherever it is, it's 200, 175, wherever. I mean, I'm just here to test myself at the end of the day and test my greatness.
Hi, David. Congratulations on your victory. Liliana for Chicana Boxing and BoxingSocial.com. With so much of the conversation surrounding identity this week, how did it feel to perform such a dominant performance on Cinco de Mayo weekend? And do you feel like maybe you can take over the weekend moving forward in your career?
Yeah, I feel really great. I feel that I'm really starting to come into my own. Everything I speak, I do. You know what I mean? I said I was going to beat David Morrell. I said I was going to beat Caleb Plant. I said I was going to beat Yard. I said I was going to beat Zurdo Ramirez. So I'm just getting, a lot of confidence in myself. And back then, I thought it was a dream that I could become a great. And now I know for sure that this is my destiny. And I'm just very, very happy that I'm able to have this type of performance in Cinco de Mayo in the United States. My last fight was in Saudi Arabia. I had a great performance out there too. And it's just, just a blessing to be able to follow it up with this type of performance in the United States on Cinco de Mayo. Back.
David Straight back, Andreas Hill, ESPN. When I talked to you before...
Will the clean-cut Mexican force, David Benavidez, be the one to solve the heavyweight puzzle and defeat Oleksandr Usyk, or will the jump in weight and Usyk's elite skill prove too much? The fight path is being shaped as key figures position everything for a possible clash. The division stands on the edge of a major shift. When these two meet, only one can prevail. What do you think? Can Benavidez succeed at heavyweight, or would this step be too risky? Share your thoughts below, and if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates.